for watching Numbskull News. And today, let's talk about this Super League BS that keeps on coming out. I've said it once, I'll say it again. The Super League, that is the speculation of the big time media people. All right. All your professional journalists from all the big outlets, that's their speculation. That's right, they do it too. They speculate too. Not just us pissants here on YouTube or on Twitter, but they do as well. All right. And let me show you. There's somebody by the name of Andy Staples that came out a few days ago and showed his little graph of what this would look like. So let me show you. And as you can see, it's essentially an intact SEC and Big Ten. I say intact because a lot of these dumbasses out here, what they like to do is talk about, when they talk about Super League, is all the biggest brands out of the two conferences combined with whatever other teams from other conferences to basically have its own Super League with the SEC and the Big Ten blown apart. But Andy Staples kind of figured it out. Hey, the SEC and the Big Ten are not going to blow themselves apart. So he basically sprinkled in a little Big 12, sprinkled in a little ACC, added Notre Dame, and then that's it. But it's still dumb shit for a myriad of freaking reasons. All right, the biggest reason, of course, is they don't want to alienate other parts of Division One. You want to get as many eyeballs into the CFP as possible. You want as many eyeballs, period. So why would you alienate a whole shit ton of brands out there and conferences and schools? If you're the ESPN or Fox or whomever, it doesn't make any sense. So at least Andy Staples figured that out. You know, the Big Ten and the SEC, you talk about these schools are intertwined. Many of them have been intertwined for decades, 50, 60, 70, 80 years, more. So they're not just going to be able to get split apart. And I don't believe either conference wants that. It doesn't make any sense. But I was going to make the video solely based on what Andy Staples did. But, oh my God. Here comes Monty. The Monty Show. And Greg Flugar just addressed a little bit of it. And when he called Monty a carnival barker, that shit had me rolling. It was so good. Yes, he is a carnival barker. He's trying to draw attention. And look, the Monty Show, they got 75,000 subscribers now. They're killing it. They're crushing, growing like a weed. And that's fine. But I remember there was a point where they called Immaculate a conspiracy theorist. They were crapping all over Locked On Big 12 with Jake Toll because of some content about Oregon State and Washington State. And basically crapping all over MHVER3 like, screw you, you dumbass. So they like to shit on people who speculate online. But here's this guy coming out, the only person coming out talking this shit, saying it's sourced. He has his sources. I talked to Big TV. What the fuck does that mean? Anyway, we're going to get into some of this video because it's just too good. It's too good. It's too stupid. So, so let's get on with it.
College Football Super League. So we had been making some calls and endeavoring to uncover information behind the scenes. It's Friday. I can use accents like that. So in talking to some sources over the last 24 hours, we have gotten word from the TV industry that ESPN and Fox.
Wow. I mean, is that what it says on his phone? When someone calls him, it just says the TV industry? You how dumbass that is? That is ridiculously stupid.
Fox, in fact, have had communication and talked about the what ifs and crossing I's and dotting T's in the eventuality, because ESPN, according to sources, I am told, believes that this is as good as a done deal. There had been, as we reported on the show, frustration and consternation from ESPN and Disney executives towards the college football playoff because their extension that they had tabled, and ESPN had tabled a very lucrative extension for the college football playoff. They did not get that signed and executed by the college football playoff. Well, now we know that the reason for that is because the college football playoff is likely not going to survive in its current form or fashion, and that we are likely in 2026 moving to a god tier college football super league.
All right, I just wanted to stop it right there. Do y'all realize what he's saying is all of the negotiations of the CFP that's going on aren't really going on? That, the 3-3-2-2-1. And by the way, Ross Dillinger put out an article about 2 hours after this Monty show bullshit, in which he talked about the shit that's actually being put out there. His sources telling him, the Brett Yarmark stuff, about a 2028 look in, all of this kind of stuff, the 3-3-2-2-1 model, all that crap. And Monty is saying, well, that's not what my sources say. The TV industry called me themselves. This is why I don't watch Monty anymore. Was one of the reasons. All right, he's a very talented guy, but he's become increasingly full of shit. He started out full of shit. Some of that you could blow by because he is talented. He's not much to look at, but at least he's talented. He's got the gift of gab, if you will. And the way he presents himself out there, it's entertaining. He's definitely got a better camera setup than I do. He's got a better microphone than I do. He's got like some kind of a luxury suite somewhere that he films out of. Cool. But Super League, and they're not even working on the negotiation. As far as I know, they were supposed to be a month, according to Monty. It's never going to happen because we're going to Super League in 2026. Son of a bitch.
In the TV industry tell me that ESPN and Fox, in fact, have had very high-level meetings about what will happen. How will this go? I am told that both are willing to open their grant of rights in the P4 to facilitate a I don't know what's the right word, a metamorphosis, a changing, an evolution of the college football playoff into this super league, or god tier, as everybody is calling it. ESPN and Fox are fully on board with that.
Everybody's calling it God. It's the first time I've ever heard of God tier anything. At least not associated with realignment at all. But he says everybody. Okay.
I think ESPN, more loudly, I am told, than most people, is pushing the NFL model, which is to have, 64 teams. I am told 64, by the way, is the only number that works, and that is a minimum. That 48 is no longer a workable model because it eliminates far too many brands in the college football world. So 64 is the number. And I am told that unequivocally, ESPN supports an NFL model where you have two conferences who have a playoff system very similar, almost identical, it would be, to the NFL model. They also, ESPN and Fox have both discussed, according to our sources, making sure that bowl season stays intact. That
I love how emphatic he is. Oh, yeah, the 48 team model it's not going to work for you. Who the fuck has said anything about 48 teams? I have not heard anything until this fat prick started opening his mouth about it just now. No, that has not been reported anywhere. It's been speculated on by all the big media heads, but no one's reported like this is factually happening, period, end of story. Nobody. So what Monty wants you to believe, that he is the cornerstone of sports media now, that he's got it. No one else. No one else in this sphere, no one else who's covered college sports and has actual sources. Because as much as I give big media shit, a lot of these guys, like a Ross Dillinger, they do actually have sources. and they've worked and earned those sources, not set their fat ass in Utah claiming to have sources. It's it's getting to the point of ridiculous now. It just is. This everything he's saying right here. He's saying it like this is fact. This is what's coming down the pike. You know, ESPN and Fox do business together. They ain't afraid. They've done business together for a long time. A lot of these media companies have done business for a long time. Fox, NBC, CBS. You know, now Warner Brothers Discovery is joining Fox and ESPN. So we know all this shit. They work together. But he's the only one reporting this, gang. Because the TV industry called him.
The changes that need to be made in the month of December are in fact made to keep things like, Capital One Bowl Week, which makes ESPN and ABC a significant amount of money, to make sure that those games continue to be played and the TV networks continue to realize that revenue. But make no mistake about it, ESPN and Fox are willing to open their grant of rights to renegotiate their deals to facilitate this move to a god tier or super league, whatever you want to call it. And I think we.
Oh, okay. I gotta go full screen. Here's another way to tell this is all bullshit. Fox and ESPN are willing to open up their grant of rights. They don't have a grant of rights. The SEC has a grant of rights. The Big Ten does, the Big 12 does, and the ACC does. But ESPN and Fox have nothing to do with the grant of rights. All right, they can't open up a grant of rights. All right, conferences have to do that. They would have to decide to dissolve a grant of rights. That is not up to ESPN. That is not up to Fox. And if he can't get that shit straight, if he can't get that simple fact straight, then you know all this is bullshit. 75,000 subscribers subscribe to watch this bullshit. And I understand. I used to listen to him every day on the way home from work. Very entertaining guy. But you give one topic, he'll take one side. The next episode, he'll take the next other side. If he doesn't do it the same episode, the same 5-minute span. So, I mean, if y'all want to buy this Super League bullshit, I mean, that's up to y'all. But I ain't done with them yet.
ESPN's going direct to consumer probably in about 16 months. In the fall of 2025, ESPN.
Probably in 16 months. We don't know dog shit about that. Now, we do know Fox, ESPN, and Warner Brothers Discovery are, of course, later this year. It's been announced. They're going to come out with their joint venture type of deal. ESPN is Plus. They're still they're going to, I'm not sure if it's a relaunch. There's something about it that's already been announced. But going straight to consumer means that they are no longer going to be on cable or satellite networks. They're not going to be part of the linear bundle, that's bullshit. That's not going to happen until they actually can't make money on it. They're going to set everything up to be direct to consumer for the right time.
And you are going to have an NFL playoff system. And I think what you're going to see is those bowl games that are in December to get you into the college football playoffs or whatever you want to call it. Because I was also talking to somebody yesterday who said the name's probably not going to change. It's probably going to remain the college football playoff. Because
who's talking about that? See, now he's just making shit up on the fly. Now he's just making shit up. See, I was talking to someone yesterday, and they said the name's probably not going to change. Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? I was talking to the sports streaming industry, and after I got off the phone with the media industry, the TV industry. I mean, the globalist called me and told me who's going to be president. What an idiot.
Because let's not forget, the college football playoff is not part of the NCAA.
Right.
That is an individual body, unaffiliated, right? Made up of NCAA membership, right? But it's not under the purview of the NCAA. So
We already know this. Good God. This is what you do when you're trying to think of shit in the back of your head. You start spouting off facts that everybody already knows. All right. So until you can come up with that good, juicy lie in the back. Trust me, I'm a liar. I know how it is.
but when we get to January and early February, because I continue to hear from TV sources that I talk to that there's going to be a college football championship game on Saturday and the Super Bowl on Sunday.
So you heard him, right? You're talking about having the final, the CFP final on Saturday. Then the next day, Sunday, you're going to have the Super Bowl. The NFL would not be cool with that. Oh, it doesn't take anything away from NFL. Bullshit. No, no, no. And by the way, this would be a horrible, stupid ass move for college football, the CFP, to do that. I mean, think about it on this way. You walk into a porn set, drop trowel as a normal human being, drop trowel right next to one of those male porn actors, and you stand right next to him with your hands on your hips. Don't you think you're going to feel a little inadequate? I know I would. And look, I'm fine with what I got. It serves me well. But I'm not one of those guys. As a big a deal as the CFP is, it ain't the NFL. It ain't the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl probably gets double the ratings, maybe more. It's a massive event, the biggest single game event in America. And the CFP is going to play the day before. That's sabotaging your own damn self. You want as much exposure. You want to be the whole story. You want to be the whole story. So you play. Think about it, they play the CFP. They play the final on a Monday because they want the whole week people talking about them the whole week. They want the weekend before all the buildup. They want the weekend before all the buildup. So you're going to go from Monday to Saturday. This guy's an idiot. He has no idea. He's just puking off at the mouth with speculation. It doesn't even make sense. If I am running the CFP, if I'm the czar of college football and I get to decide everything about the CFP, the last thing I'm going to do is put my championship final, my big, big, big game, right next to the big game. Are you serious? That's the dumbest shit ever. But I got one more thing. I got one more thing I need to show you guys on this thing. This is why I don't watch Monty anymore, and I highly suggest no one watch him. This is why he's so full of shit. He's been full of shit. Amazingly full of shit. I mean, he's not even real. He's just a fake person. So watch this shit. It's incredible. It's incredible. I can't make it up.
So for a lot of people, that this notion that, oh my God, the SEC's disappearing, the Big Ten's going away. It's not. I don't think the SEC is going anywhere. I don't think the Big 12 is going anywhere. I think we get so captivated in, oh, the SEC can't go away. Who said the SEC is going away? I've certainly never said
I didn't
that.
hear that.
Right? But we get so worried about that.
Hold on. Ooh. Let's go back a little bit.
And again, Greg Sankey, it may not be the commissioner of the SEC because I don't think the SEC exists.
Mhm.
I don't think the Big 10 exists, the Big 12, the ACC. You're going to have one league.
Can't make it up, people. Can't make it up. What a fucking jackass. What a jackass. I mean, what he's saying is football, all the other sports. What he's trying to say is all the other sports are going to still be in the same conferences that they're always in. It's just football that's going away. That's destroying the SEC and the Big Ten and the Big 12 and the ACC. You dip fuck. What an idiot. What an idiot. Now let's talk about this 64 team thing. Okay, so I did the math. In order to get 64 teams in, that would basically include the entire Big Ten, the entire SEC, the entire Big 12, maybe, and the entire ACC. Well, not so fast. You would have to exclude SMU, Stanford, and Cal. That would get you to the 64 teams. But what about Notre Dame? What do we do about Notre Dame? Well, we'll have to kick someone else out. So one of your ACC members has to go, or one of your Big 12, or one of your SEC. So it's either going to be Vanderbilt that's gone. It's going to have to be kicked out. Maybe Northwestern, maybe Rutgers, maybe Wake Forest. Maybe Boston College. Maybe Cincinnati's got to get kicked out. Maybe Houston's got to get kicked out. I think you're going to get a fight on that. I don't know how doable that is. See, he's not even thinking about the math. He's not even thinking about this son of a bitch in math. And you might say, oh, it's not a big deal to kick out a team. There's some legal ramifications there. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do, or something that either any of those conferences would want to do. Okay, another problem with this whole 64 team circle jerk bullshit idea and straight up lie from Monty. And the only reason I say that because this doesn't make any logical sense. And this is one of the biggest things why it doesn't make logical sense. How does the money break down? Don't tell me, well, Fox and ESPN already have a plan. They already have a deal. Well, hold on. How does that get distributed? Is it unequal revenue sharing? Does the SEC teams and the Big Ten teams, they make more than the other teams? What does Notre Dame make? Are they going to pull in the same kind of money? Are they going to? Because if all of that is unequal, and we see how things are working out in the CFP, right, where the Big Ten and the SEC want more. Well, this is the media rights. This is way more money than CFP money. You think there's going to be an equal split amongst all the teams? I think not. That's the NFL model. Dumbass. I love it. Oh, they're going to use the NFL model. They're going to the NFL model. No, they're not. Because in the NFL, all the teams have the same base salary off their media rights deal that the NFL has. Teams like the Cowboys, teams like, the Pittsburgh Steelers, maybe the Raiders, maybe the Giants, the really big brands, the 49ers, they probably have other revenue streams that makes them way more wealthy. But the media rights is all the same. That's not how it works in college football. You think those two are going to be cool with making the same money? You think Alabama and Ohio State, or Michigan and Georgia and Texas and you think they're going to be fine making the same money that BYU makes? You think they're cool with getting the same payout as Louisville or Virginia Tech? What in the shit is this dude talking about? Because if you're going to have unequal revenue within this 64 model, why the fuck blow up your conferences? That doesn't make any sense. That makes zero freaking sense. What does make sense is for each conference to stay where they're at. And then you work out a CFP model. I mean, so I don't get it. I don't understand this concept of the Super League. Because the money is going to be distributed basically the same way. The media companies are going to be putting in the same money they're putting in now. Nothing changed. Why do it? To just cut out the G5? Well, I'm sorry. The SEC every year, you see Alabama. Look at their non-conference. They're playing Division II. They're playing some damn JUCO in the middle of the country. You know, some Sisters of the Poor JUCO league team where their players don't even they don't even have. They're all walk-ons. That's who they're playing. They're not playing a G5. Once in a while they'll throw in one. But they're playing Division II. They're going way down the line. And a lot of the SEC teams do that. Are you going to say now that they can't do that? They can't schedule that? Or they can't schedule the G5s? They can't schedule an independent? Is that what you're trying to say, Monty? No, it's not trying to say that because he has no details because he's full of shit. They already have it worked out. What worked out? There's nothing to work out. You damn sure didn't have the money distribution worked out. If you're going to make up a lie, you better come up with some details, dumbass. Good grief. That's how you get a good lie. You come up with details. You think of shit. You don't just regurgitate shit people already know, then throw out the big fat lie and more shit people already know. That's dumb. If you're going to have this 64-team Super League. All right? And not every team is making the same, then it's not the NFL model. It's the college model, the haves and the have-nots. Or, the Big 12 is basically the middle class. So, why do it? Makes no sense. Is that so ESPN can just write one check? It's just easier for payroll? He is a carnival barker. He is completely full of shit. And I think we could close the book on Monty. Good luck to this guy. You continue to grow. But the bigger you get, the more people are going to see that something smells a little funny. Something looks like shit. Something sounds like shit. People are going to... It won't be hard for people to go back and say, wow, this guy is just making shit up. This guy is just flat out lying. And when he gets busted, what is he going to do? He's going to go back and blame the sources got it wrong. They told me, that's what they said. Folks, there are no sources. This dude doesn't have any sources. Let me take that back. He may have one or two people. Some guy that works for the WB or some shit. Some low-level guy. He ain't got Ross Dillinger's sources. He ain't got those guys' sources. Oh, this shit was too fun. I can only get through about 15 minutes of the video before I had to just... It's not for me anymore. Can't do it. Anyway, it's all I got on this crap, and I'll be back with some other crap later. Bye.